So this guy sucks. Talking about Bryce Mitchell, current UFC fighter, and he's a guy from Arkansas. I followed his career ever since he got famous for doing that body twister in the UFC, and I think I used to think he was kind of cool. I used to think he was a good guy. I sound like him when I say this. Recently, he came out on this brand new podcast in the very first episode of this new podcast he started called Arkansanity that he thinks Hitler's a good guy. And he said he was a good guy. He said all this crazy stuff. I'll just play the clip real quick about like all the different stuff he said.
Hitler, hell and the Nazis. I really don't think that he was, because I honestly think that Hitler was a good guy based upon my own research, not my public education indoctrination. I really do think before Hitler got on meth, he was a guy I'd go fishing with. He fought for his country. He wanted to purify it by kicking the greedy Jews out that were destroying his country and turning them all into gays.
So yeah, he said all of that. He said all that crazy shit. And it just blows my mind how somebody in the 21st century can still, and this is not specific to Bryce Mitchell. This is not new to Bryce Mitchell, but the fact that anyone in today's day and age can look back on the stuff that Hitler did and deny the Holocaust and look at the stuff Hitler did and just say, you know what? It wasn't so bad. It wasn't such a bad thing he did. That blows my mind. That's absolute insanity. How does somebody do that? And he says all this weird stuff like he did his own research. Like, what research could you do that leads you to that conclusion? What is that about? Is that just doing research on other pinheads that think Hitler was a cool dude? Like, I just don't get that. That doesn't make any sense to me. And what I think is also really interesting about this story is the coverage. It seems like there's more coverage on what Dana White, of all people, had to say in response to what Bryce Mitchell said, more so than what Bryce Mitchell said. Like, Dana White, has his own slew of problems, comes out and actually says something good for a change, and it's just like, hey, Bryce Mitchell, you kind of fucking suck. You're stupid. You're dumb. You're you're ugly. You're all this, that, and the other, and just comes out and is like, you know what, you stink because of this. It's just crazy. It's just crazy, and there seems to be more coverage on what Dana White had to say rather than there being more focus on what Bryce Mitchell had to say. Because if you look up Bryce Mitchell Hitler in Google, it just brings up all the stuff like that Dana White had to say in response. You'd be hard pressed to find the actual footage or actual clip of what Bryce Mitchell said, like what I just showed you, courtesy of that YouTube channel Blux. But yeah, that was something, and it's kind of crazy because Bryce Mitchell, he was somebody that I actually followed and somebody that I actually liked to follow, and now to see that he's kind of a deplorable piece of shit who, I knew had problems. He had his own set of problems beforehand. He said some out-of-pocket stuff beforehand, but now this is just the coup de grace. This is the shit on top of the shit sundae. Like, this is just, it's too much. It's too much, and I gotta say, Bryce Mitchell, what the fuck, dude? Just what the fuck. But yeah, that's about it. See ya.